So, from my understanding, Lila Phillips is this chick that slept with 100 guys in 24 hours and decided to make a media spectacle out of it. Now, she is pretty conservative, given the fact that there was another lady, Bonnie Blue, which slept with 1,000 men within 24 hours. And so, all things considered, she could have done worse, right? Like, if you're her father, I think this is the cope you can have every single morning. It's like, well, at least she's not Bonnie Blue. Now, apparently she has a boyfriend, and apparently, yet again, she decides to make her personal private life into a public spectacle. And we have this interview where the boyfriend explains how he deals with the fact that, well, his girlfriend sleeps with a lot of men.
No, I don't, because I can see how professional it is and how much work goes into it. So I think that's a good way for me to look at it. And no, I don't get jealous at all. So she comes home to me at the end of the day. So yeah.
I love the fact how she's looking at him, and it's almost like someone that coached him what to say. Like, you'll notice this exact body language when a reporter interviews a child and the mother is there, and it's like, little boy, how do you feel about democracy? And then he starts talking, and the mother goes like, nod, like, yes, exactly. You're saying, the things that I told you to say. It's like, again, look at her body language. It's literally that.
So she comes home to me at the end of the day. So yeah.
Okay, she comes home at the end of the day. A man that says this has already conceded the field. A dog also comes home at the end of the day. That doesn't make the kennel the throne. Now, what's interesting is that you also have individuals like this, right? Like 72,000 views. And they're basically saying Sam's take is actually pretty grounded. At the end of the day, she comes home to me is the only part that really matters in any relationship. If both people are genuinely secure, communicative, and happy with the arrangement, then the rest is just noise from people projecting their own insecurities. Respect to him for owning it without the usual cope or drama. Not everyone is built for that dynamic, but you can't knock clear consent and confidence when you see it. Okay, well, I really hate the idea. It's like what really matters in any relationship, right? So like this relationship guru gets to claim dominion over every single relationship in mankind. This is not correct. Right? Now, there are different types of relationships, and the question is what various people look for. I personally am interested in family heritage. I am interested in the idea that the family gets to project power in society. And it's not power in the, traditional form that you have like strength to dominate others. No, it's power in the sense of wealth, prestige, legitimacy. And so when you're thinking like that, you're thinking about your future. You're thinking about your children. Like, you want your children to also be respected. You want your children to also marry in a respectable family. And you want your children to be able to have a decent life so that they can create for your grandchildren what you created for them, right? And if that's my mentality, you can't say that, well, what really matters in my relationship is if both parties are genuinely secure, communicative, and happy with the arrangement. No, like what matters in my relationship is duty to the household. And listen, I definitely understand that people cheat. Like, I'm not an ideologue. I'm not going to pretend that I don't know that in France, for example, they had to ban paternity tests because they discovered so many bastard children over there, right? And it raised inheritance questions. It raised parental concerns, right? So because of that, they banned it. Like, I'm aware that in every single society, in every time throughout human history, people cheat. Now, understanding that happens, there is a difference between the private life, like what you do in your family, versus the public spectacle. When she actually goes out and brags about the fact that she sleeps with 100 men, videotapes it, has footage of it, and doesn't care what it does to her husband, and doesn't care what it will do to her children, right? Because sexual arrangements are not private once everybody knows. They become a political fact. So when she says she comes home to me, that's not strength. It's an admission that he has reduced his dignity. to being the place that she sleeps afterwards. Like, we should not mistake consent for honor. Consent means that nobody is being forced, which is like fine, you know, no one is even accusing that is happening. But the question is like, does this arrangement make your family stronger or weaker? And it's not even about the cheating. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can still have a strong family where she's cheating, but like, you're supposed to deal that within the family. You're not supposed to make a public spectacle of it. Like, when I was younger and I was living in a rural village with my grandma, like, do you think people there didn't cheat? Like, of course they cheated. Everybody cheated, right? But, like, nobody would go into the village center or the church and brag about how many bodies they have and whose wife they got fucked about it. Like, this is the thing that's not even in the conversation anymore, right? Like, neither side of the political spectrum is even talking about it. And I think, like, this is what's really horrifying, is the fact that these people go out in public and they say what they did, which is fine, you know? Like, not my family, not my problem. I guarantee to you, my son will never marry into a family like that. But the issue is that they're trying to say that, no, this is how you should live life as well. This is how you should behave as well. It's like, no, how about you go fuck yourself? Or that you shouldn't laugh at me. No, I am going to fucking laugh at me. Or that you shouldn't laugh at us. It's like, no. Other men can absolutely laugh at your household without any consequence because this is the house you built. Now, what type of man puts himself into that situation, right? Like, what type of man goes in front of the camera and basically says that I'm okay with my wife or my girlfriend sleeping with 100 men in 24 hours, and I consented to this interview. Like, I actually wanted to be here. I actually want to talk and discuss these issues because I want the whole world to know that I don't have any problems with it. And it's important to understand what type of a man that is, because, you know, you may have a son one day, and you may, you know, want to sit down with your son, watch this video, and show your son, like, this type of man, and be like, would you want to become like him? You know, do you think it's something that you should aspire to? Right? Like, it's very important. Like, these types of people are educational. I see, like, the modern West immediately ban this, censor this. It's like, no, don't ban it, don't censor it, show it to your son. And then start asking him, right? Like, what do you think this man is doing wrong? What do you think is not acceptable? Would you like to be in his shoes? Right? It's very educational, because learning bad things from others to stay away from is actually a lot better than hearing someone talk about ideology and vague things that aren't concrete and shown by actual human beings. And so the first assumption, like, what type of man is he? The first assumption is that maybe he's a cunning individual, right? He just likes to leech off her wealth because she's a very wealthy woman. And so he may not even love her. He's basically like, I'm sitting with her because I make a lot of money. I go to interviews. I manage to make a lot of wealth. And so I'm happy with the situation. Another one can be desperation. Right? Like, he's a desperate man. No woman would want me except for her. And so if she dumps me, I have nothing. And I thought, you know, like, are these only the two options? And you realize that these two options are very valid, but they're not the whole zoo. You can have the guy that's genuinely the Chad, you know, the woodchucker. He can have any woman he wants. And so he probably sleeps around as well. Because of his connections with the industry, right? Like, he probably works around the same circles. And so he can basically go around and fuck any type of woman. And so he needs a relationship with another woman that tolerates him doing that. He tolerates her doing that. And they're more like roommates. That is a possibility. Another is the fetishist, right? The cuckold guy. The cuckold guy is born with a problem. It generally turns him on. Like, for him, happiness is when the woman does it. So, like, for the cuckold guy, he can't help it. Like, if he is in a normal relationship, it just doesn't make him happy. Like, he wants to feel humiliated in order for him to experience something. And so the fetishist, right, the cuckold guy, probably gets turned on by these types of interviews. It's a problem, right? Like, this is not something you can fix. Like, the cuckold guy is not going to create a strong family Which is why you as the parent need to realize that if you want a strong legacy, you need to insert another coin, right? Like have another kid. Like the cuckold guy is not going to build something last-worthy. Not because he doesn't want to, but because of his wiring, right? It's like the hormones in his body are functioning in a way that is telling him this is what he needs to do. And, well, the cuckold guy is probably going to end up doing what his body is, what his lizard brain is telling him, that you're getting a reward, a dopamine hit, if you do it. Human beings are pretty predictable, right? Like, you look at the lizard brain, and that's the one that gives you incentives and disincentives. And so for most normal people, being the ridicule of the village is a bad thing, right? But for other people, they genuinely, unironically, do not care about the ridicule of the village. And so you can't reason them out of it, right? Because they generally don't care, and they will do it anyway. You can also have, like, the ideology guy, right? The ideology guy is probably the type like Destiny. So the ideology guy is someone that actually did absorb the idea that jealousy means insecurity, that being a person with boundaries is a possessive individual, that having your spouse experience any type of discomfort is a moral failure. And so when that ideology guy feels hurt, he disciplines himself, right? Instead of questioning the arrangement he is in, he genuinely believes that he is a progressive, mature, liberated individual. And so it's kind of sad, right? Because the ideology guy is a person that society has failed. Like, society has definitely broken this man through the academia, journalists, peer reviews, the people that he surrounds himself with. And so when he is feeling pain, he doesn't express that in a proper language. He says, I must be insecure, right? And insecurity is a moral failure. What type of other individuals can we have? The status clinger, right? It's really interesting that in reality, we believe that shame and status cannot coexist. But when you look at it, they absolutely can, right? So, like, if you're in a circle of degenerates, you can actually have status among those degenerates. And if those degenerates are wealthy and powerful people, having status with them actually matters. And so you can have shame from, like, everyone else, but you can also have status within the degenerate community. In fact, like, most groups operate like this, right? Like being a neo-Nazi. That's shameful in modern societies, right? Like in modern societies, being a neo-Nazi is shameful. But within that particular group, right, within the subsect of being a neo-Nazi, you can have status amongst them. It used to be like being part of a biker gang, right? Like being part of a biker gang was concerning for soccer moms. But within that gang, you have status. And so if the boyfriend is someone connected to that type of world, then yeah, he can basically do it because being with her, you know, the woman that slept with 100 men in 24 hours, gives him status amongst those peers, gives him job opportunities amongst those peers. He's a person that doesn't care about his household. Now, again, the reason I'm saying all of this is because I can understand, right? Like, I have the ability to understand why other people do it and why it happens to other people, and I need to understand it to make sure it doesn't happen in my household. But if you're asking me, like, should a person do that? Well, I mean, if he understands the consequences and he's willing to be a man and take those consequences, like, that's one thing, right? Like, for example, Destiny, right? Destiny went along and he was told, it's like, look, the type of relationship you're in is going to end up in sorrow. She's going to divorce you. She's going to take half your shit, right? Do you understand this? And he pretended not to understand it, which, you know, what can you do, right? But if you're a person that, like, legitimately understands it, like, let's say you're the type of individual that doesn't care about the relationship, you're not really interested in women or raising a family, you have other priorities. But you still have sexual urges, right? And so you take a woman that's promiscuous, you have her as a roommate, you spread the bills, you don't marry her, blah, blah, blah. Eventually things don't work out, and that's it, right? Like, you knew what you're getting into, you accepted the responsibilities, and you managed to go through it. Fine, you know, like, that. What can I tell that guy? Like, what can I honestly tell that guy? He knew what he is getting into, he got what he wanted, right? Like, from my perspective, he's not my son. He's not related to me in blood, so, like, why would I even care about trying to improve his family? And at the end of the day, maybe I don't even can improve it. Like maybe his family is already more powerful than mine because of his mommy and daddy, right? And eventually he may even get with a woman that he actually loves and genuinely do start something. So with those types of people, like there's nothing to lecture. There's nothing to moralize. Like they're getting what they're wanting. The problem is when you have a person like Destiny that's trying to encourage me to live life like him. Is trying to normalize his behavior to everyone. And it's like, no, it's not that like some relationship like mine can work. No, it's like every single relationship is like this and you shouldn't laugh at it. You shouldn't criticize it. And it's like, no, brother, no. Absolutely not. You know, like your relationships are the exceptions. Yes, like they have existed in many aspects of society with powerful people that could afford it. Like, for example, the Sultan. The Sultan had a harem, right? Like the Sultan could sleep around with many women. Sometimes not aristocratic women because they were more washed, but like the wife of a merchant, right? Who traveled the seas and he brings home the luxuries. Well, probably she was the whore of the village, right? Like those types of things existed, but they were the exception. They weren't like we need to look at another blueprint for society. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy, but don't encourage it on others, right? Because now you're being harmful, right? Don't poison my generation with the idea that, no, actually, no, it's not, right? It is like one of many types of relationships that often enough ends with a divorce. And because of the law we live in, right, the legislation we're having now, a divorce means that she will take half the shit. And the courts will side with her, right? So, like, that also needs to be taken into consideration. Like, why would I want my son to have half his shit taken away by a harpy? Right? Like, if it was just a one-night fling, that's one thing. But when it's, no. And so, that's my take, right? Like, all the people defending this, I hope you now understand a more nuanced conversation, right? So the idea that this type of relationship can work, yes, depending on what the person wants, right? Like if the person just wants to milk the cow because the milk is free, sure, right? If he understands that, if he actually knows what he is getting into, fine. If you're saying that this is the nice place to raise children or to start families, no, absolutely not. No, because no, right? And if you want to say that family and the traditional family doesn't matter, no. Like the traditional family generates power. And when I say power, I mean it generates a social network. It generates safety for the children. You have two incomes. It's a lot easier to raise a child with two incomes rather than none, right? Or one. You have the connections and the prestige so that when people hear your family name, doors open. Like that's what happens in a normal Eastern European society, right? And so you need to maintain that. You don't maintain that by doing this. And at the same time, again, like I'm not a Western ideologue. Cheating, horrible, calamity from God. Every single family deals with it differently, right? Luckily, I've never had to deal with it. But if it was to happen, it's definitely something that the couple deals with it in private. It's not something that the couple goes online, starts talking about it, becomes the public attention, discusses how she fucked with 100 guys, right? I mean, what are we doing here? Like, what is your son going to think? Even if you don't end up with her, right? Imagine you have a daughter or a son with another woman, and the internet is forever. And after 20 years, gets to see daddy sitting there saying, oh, yeah, no, like, I'm fine, as long as she comes home. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we'll see you in the comment section. Take care.